What is up, everybody? My name is Whooped. This is Film Study Coaching, where I go over replays that you guys send me, and I do my best to give you actionable insights along the way. We're going to be reviewing Origamis replay today. He had trouble going against Fortress Fang, so let's take a look. Origamis is blue. He's Elite Specialist, and his opponent, Mr. Mobile, is Speed Specialist. Yeah, so going with the vertical sledgehammers I think is a good idea. It's a little bit more defensive, but it also clears chaff a bit better than horizontal sledgehammers. Interesting choice to go Elite Specialist. But yeah, I mean, level 2 snipers right off the start is pretty powerful. So everything's looking good so far. So shield airdrop would be nice here. Yeah, I think personally I would go shield airdrop. And if I was your opponent, I would do the same thing right here. Okay, so you went with the Salt Stormcaller. Your opponent skipped. You added one thing of Fangs. And a Marksman. Okay. Right now, the thing I noticed the most is that you need something to deal with chaff. Right? You need chaff clear. And so adding the Marksman is great for power, but I think it would have been much better in this situation to get something that would clear his chaff. Like Arc Lights, for example. Level 2 Arc Lights would annihilate his chaff. You could also sell a sledgehammer. Like next round, for example, if you wanted to sell a sledgehammer and then drop down 2 Stormcallers since you picked the Assault Stormcaller card. Which I think is a pretty good choice, by the way. And if he's being aggressive, Assault Stormcaller can work very well. I still think you take this round. Alright, let's see here. You got level 3 Sabertooth. You got 3 Arc Lights. I'm guessing you're going to take the Arc Lights for the chaff clear. He's not going to go Overlord or Phoenix. I mean, he might, but he shouldn't because you have 3 level 2 Marksmen. I mean, him going Phoenix, I think, is a big mistake. Just because, you know, you already have 3 level 2 Marksmen. I think instead of leveling up the sledgehammers, it probably would have been better to get into Stormcallers. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this round back real quick, and we'll get into Stormcallers. I'm gonna sell the ones on the left just because he's you know, so aggro on the right. And then we're gonna go ahead and unlock the Stormcaller. We're gonna drop one of these bad boys. So I'm gonna put an Arc Light all the way on the left just in case he flanks. You want to protect your tower. And we'll have these 2 here, and then we'll go ahead and drop chaff. Yeah, my positioning probably could have gone better, but you can see the difference. Alright, so you got efficient giant manufacturing, incendiary bomb, stick away bomb, and deployment. You can just put it right here, no problem. Okay, you drop down. Alright, I like it, I like it. You know, another play for him would have been fire right here and then hit you with like wasps or something in the corner. Yeah, instead of getting the second shield on the right, I think it would have been better to get the shield on the left. If you're going to use the shield, you don't even have to. I think one would have been fine. Because you're using fire against him as well, right? So he's not going to hit you with the full force. Alright, so he got additional deployment, and I think you skipped. Okay. I can understand not getting additional deployment as elite, but it is something that you might want to keep in your back pocket if you think the game is going to last. It'd be nice if you can add more Fangs, for example, and give them shield later on in the game. Have that extra deployment. It might come in handy. Right now, he just has so many Fangs. Okay, so I see what you did. You got launcher overload, and then you got range. The problem with that is that was 500 supplies. That's a lot of supplies to invest, you know, and you're already elite, so your units cost more anyway. I do like the fact that you have range, though. You know, it puts you back a little bit above him with Fangs. One trick I would say that you could do is in the tower, you can buy oil, and then you could put oil here, right? For one round. And then the next round, you get incendiary bomb, and then you can ignite it. So the first round, you slow them down, right? They'll be slowed. And then the second round, they'll be turned to fire. Arc light range. I respect that. I think that's a good move. Oh, here comes his first fortress. Yeah, he's just smothering you with Fangs. Another thing you could do is put pressure on him. Right? He's putting all the pressure on you, but you could put pressure on him. Because his towers are pretty wide open. Yeah, I mean, you knew the fortresses were coming. Like, absolutely, you know they're coming. And so that's what you prepare for. But you didn't know, like, in particular, it'd be right there, you know, at this time. So I understand why he was able to do that. And his Phoenix are just leveling up. So in this particular case, I would take Scorpions 100% of the time. You're not running double shot on your Scorpion, so take off armor enhancement or siege mode and get double shot. And if you had double shot, you know that he's going to get barrier. And so between your double shot and your Stormcallers, you'll break his shields immediately, like immediately. But also if you got acid on your Scorpions, level 2 Scorpions with double shot and acid are going to one shot fortresses, or one volley it, because I guess it'd be technically 2 shots. 100%, I think in this case you'd go double shot Scorpions. You don't have double shot, so I would still get the Scorpions though, because you're gonna want the acid, and they're gonna do insane amounts of damage to the fortresses once his shields break. If I was your opponent, I'd go Rhino or Scorpions. He went Overlord, and then you went Typhoon. I can see why, because you might want to chaff clear, but you have so many Arclights already, and you have Stormcallers with Launcher Overload. I don't think you need the Typhoons, to be honest. So I would have liked to see Scorpions for sure. It would have gave you more beef that he has to get through. It would have gave, you know, your Stormcallers more time to apply missiles. It would have let you have the utility of acid. But I understand, you know, you want to put an end to his flank. So I definitely get the thought process. I don't think it's bad. Especially if you pop shields on it, then they definitely won't get through you. Yeah, and the unfortunate part too, because he has super heavy armor. He's gonna level up. He's, you know, gaining XP really fast, so he's gonna be a really tanky boy. I wouldn't take efficient tech. I don't think the game's gonna last that long because it's already round 8. So I think skipping would have been better, or getting the advanced training system would have been better for your Stormcallers. And then also, you know, he has fire, so you have to shield up. So I hope you do. Okay, you got fire in your Stormcallers. I like that. So if I'm you, I'm thinking my opponent's going to go War Factory with anti-missile. That is the last thing you want, is War Factory with anti-missile. I think you can go 2 different routes. I think you could take the Sabertooth and sell it, or I think you can go the Melting Point and turn that into kind of like a co-carry along with your Stormcallers. So he went War Factory. You went Melting Point, okay. I don't think that's a bad call. I want to see you get range enhancement though. You got to pay the range tax. I also want to see you borrow here. You know, it's round 9. You have 168 health. Probably should have borrowed last round or the last round before that as well. But you definitely have to borrow in this situation. Either sell your sledgehammers, sell, because this is 450 right here. That's 450. This is 300, I believe. So you got to sell, you know, one of those to get more stuff. And you're also going to want to at least get level 1 defense. So if you want to put shields down, I think it'd be better to move them further back so that, you know, they're covering what you want them to cover. And then you have chaff in front of that so the shields don't die immediately. Damn, we got your tower. That was a good try. Definitely a good try. It's a lot to deal with, honestly. Alright, so let's take a look at this. So this right here, I mean, this is just so much to deal with. Like, how are you expected to go against all this? Plus, you know, over here. Plus, you got this over here. Like, that's a lot to deal with, you know? I definitely want to see you, though, you have to pay the range tax, you have to borrow, you have to get the additional recruit. See, on your fangs, you're going to want shields for sure. Also, you're going to want to get, you know, like I said, level 1. You can consider getting oil right here. You definitely want the sell button because you're going to want to sell the sledgehammers or the typhoon. His towers are wide open. Like, you could make a case that maybe this tower's not over here, but this one is wide open. It only has level 3 fangs guarding it. Any point throughout the game, I think you should have put pressure on his flanks, because if you put pressure on his flanks, he can't put as much stuff up here. You know what I mean? And you want him to dedicate resources to that defense so that less resources go to the front line. Going against War Factor, Think Time Missile, it's a gamble. So it's up to you. I think you have 2 choices. You can either play through your Stormcallers or you can play through melting points. It's kind of a lot, so I'm going to go fast, but we're going to go with the Sabertooth route first, not the melting points. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Sabertooth. We're going to sell it. While we're here, we'll get defense enhancement. On the command center, we're going to borrow, pay the range heads, get high mobility, and get mass recruitment. You don't have to get high mobility. On your marksman, I'm going to get shooting squad to give us extra fangs, and then I'm going to give us shields. This is a way that we can get extra fangs without having to use some of our deployments, and then we're going to get multiple Stormcallers. Now we can assume he's going to put 2 or 3 fortresses over here and maybe a pack of fangs over here, so we're going to hit these with missile sentries because we can't deal with them right now. We have no good way of dealing with them. And then we're going to redeploy these over here so that we have a little bit extra chaff. And then we're going to upgrade our building. Okay, everything's fighting in the front. That's fantastic. Alright, we're winning the left side pretty significantly. Yeah, maybe even throwing down a shield instead of upgrading the tower would have been better, but you know, there's no way to know if he's going to get a shot off or not. Yeah, perfect. Now, this way's risky though, because you don't know if he's going to have anti-missile on his war factor. If he does, you know, it's not a guaranteed loss, but it's a likely loss. Now we're going to play through melting points. Okay, so a lot of things will stay the same. We're still going to get, you know, field recovery, pay the range tax, of course. We're still going to borrow. On your marksman, we're going to get shooting squad so we can get more fangs at the start of the round. And then we're going to also give your fang shields. And we're going to use sentry missiles to kill his fangs on the right, because we do not want any of our troops to give his flanking fangs attention. And we're also going to put one over here just because we can assume he might put fangs down. And then we're going to move our crawlers over here for more chaff. And let's see, let's go ahead and sell sledgehammer. We'll put down melting point, and I'm 100 off. We should have sold a typhoon, is what we should have done. But it is what it is. I actually meant to get range, not lifesteal, but lifesteal ended up working anyway, so I'm guessing range would work too. Nice, did 2,000 to him. Well, Orgamist, I'd say good job, man. That was a lot to deal with, a lot to deal with. So absolutely tough. It was not easy whatsoever. If you're going to choose the Assault Stormcaller card, especially, I would look to get earlier Stormcallers. The other thing is when he's putting down that many Fangs, you know it's going to be accompanied by Fortresses. So you're going to have to decide pretty early how you want to deal with them. Is it going to be through your Stormcallers, or is it going to be through Melters, or is it going to be through Scorpions? You know, you're going to have to decide what route you're going to take in order to deal with them, and then commit to that early. So if it was Stormcallers, then getting earlier Stormcallers. If it was Melters, then you got to get earlier Melters. Don't wait until he puts down a Fortress to respond to it, because if he's putting that many Fangs down, you know the Fortress is coming. And then in the earlier rounds, focus on chaff clearing more so than Marksman. I think getting 2 Marksmen in the early round, the first round, was great. I think it would have been better to place an emphasis on chaff clearing in the second round than getting an additional Marksman. Also, when he's putting that much pressure on you, one way to alleviate that pressure is to make him spend supplies protecting his flanks. So you don't even have to flank to take his tower. Just the mere threat of it, him having to defend it, is gonna move supplies over there. So it makes your job defending a little bit easier. When your HP is low, you know things are not going your way, absolutely borrow. You have nothing to lose. You're going to lose anyway, right? So borrow. And then if it's late game, you're going to want to borrow anyway, like round 7 or 8, you're going to want to borrow regardless. And then pay the range tax as well. If it's getting to late game, always pay the range tax every single round. I like to do it even as early as round 5, but I would say no matter what, start paying it on round 7. Same with high mobility, if, maybe not in that particular case because he was so close, but otherwise it might be a good idea to get high mobility as well. The only other thing I'll say is that Shielded Fangs would help you a lot in that case because he doesn't have a lot of area damage, and so he's going to struggle to get through the Shielded Fangs as long as you can take care of his Fangs. And you were doing that with fire, which means even if you had like late arriving Shielded Fangs, I think that would be absolutely fantastic for you. It is pretty hard to deal with though. You're definitely not alone. I just lost a Fortress Fang, not that long ago. But hopefully I helped a little bit, and next time you see it, you can kick its butt. If you have a replay you want me to review, you can upload it in the link found in the description, or you could tag me in the official Discord. I'm Whooped, and thanks for watching.